Slasher Cast.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
Slasher Cast, the podcast where we talk all things horror, how is it doing, who's doing good, and the podcast is brought to you by the Slasher Cast Podcast Network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. As always, I'm joined by fellow co-host Mori.
Hello.
And today, we are going to be talking about Evil Dead Burn, but we're also going to be talking about, like, Evil Dead in general as well, because everything connects, and we're going to be talking about theories and what Wrath is going to be about and things like that. We're just going to go into a little bit of conspiracy mode, because I watched Burn the other day, because it's now on VOD, so I watched it, and holy fuck, it was certainly an interesting movie, and yeah, it was definitely fun. But first, we're going to start off with guess the character. So, who went first last time?
It was me, because we basically, like, I was guessing your character. No, you were guessing my character first last week, so I guess your character.
Alright, my first one. Go ahead.
Masculine or feminine?
Mask,
okay. Is this a slasher, a supernatural film?
Define supernatural.
Ghosts, demons, things that possess people, stuff like that.
I would say so on the supernatural side, yes.
Supernatural, yes. Okay. How many characters are fighting against this creature? This like movie antagonist?
I would say two. It's hard
two
to
protag.
It's hard to. There are other characters, obviously, but is the main two.
Okay. Is this from the Evil Dead franchise?
No.
Okay. Just had to eliminate the obvious one in the room.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's like two then. Are there ghosts in this movie?
No.
Okay. Is this character the antagonist, protagonist, or supporting character?
Right. This is where it gets a bit. You're probably going to be able to get it from my response to this.
Okay.
The character I'm on about is both a antagonist in a way and a protagonist in a way.
It's Bear from Obsession.
I hate you. You're gonna easily get that. I fucking hate you. Oh. You know what? I'm doing another one just because you got that one that quick.
Well, thank you.
I'm finding another one as well. While you guess my other one. Right. Next one, you fucking asshole.
Okay, so next one is masculine or feminine?
Feminine. I can't ever say that fucking word.
No worries. Slasher genre, supernatural genre, psychological.
Supernatural.
Does this involve any possessions, demons,
Yes.
ghosts? Yes. To which part?
Possession and demons.
Possessions. Okay. Is this in the Evil Dead franchise?
Yes.
Is this character Mia from 2013 Evil Dead?
No.
No.
Which I got
Okay.
on Blu-ray the other day, by the way.
Nice. Is it Ellie Bixler?
I hate you. It's too. I really need to start going really fucking obscure. I really need to really start going obscure at this point.
But you're also hitting me at like the end of my workday. Like I'm fully revved up. You know what I mean? Like I'm.
Yeah.
It's not the first.
This is
It's
the thing,
not the
guys.
first
We
thing I do
usually
in the
record.
Sunday morning.
Obviously, we usually record this on Sundays, but we're recording this on a Monday night. Well, Monday night my time. I don't know what time it is over in America.
5:43.
Damn, it is 10:43 p.m. here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Usually his brain isn't working on a Sunday.
Yeah. Usually, it's taking me a bit to roll into things.
Need. No. I need one more. Where? Fuck off. All right, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. So, masculine or feminine?
I believe this is fem.
Is this in the Hellraiser franchise?
No.
Okay. Is this a supernatural film, a slasher, a psychological?
Right, yeah, so it is female, yeah, Santa Misha. None of those.
None?
Nope.
Okay. Is it science fiction?
Yes.
Is this an Alien franchise?
No. But you are close.
Okay, so let's think here. So it's a feminine. Is this a protagonist, antagonist, supporting character?
In the beginning, it's a antagonist, but later on is a protagonist. I would say.
Does this take place in space or a planet that is not Earth?
A planet that is not Earth. Also, did you hear about Halloween the game banned in Australia?
Interesting. Why is it getting banned? Is it just generally
Well, it's
Australian?
not being banned. It's basically Australia refused to give it a rating. So it can't be released in Australia because
until they do it.
It's not because of all the killings or anything like that. It's because you can use drugs in the game.
You gotta watch out for that, you know.
There's a drug mechanic in the game.
Down under, you know, down under the influence.
There's a drug mechanic in the game. That is why. So they're trying to basically Ilphonic won't get rid of it. Won't get rid of the mechanic. People are praising them for not backing down.
Good.
So, but for some reason, a lot of people have already pre-ordered the game who live in Australia. So it's a bit messy, but
causes a lot of problems.
I do hope it gets released.
Oh, 100%.
It would actually be really fucking sad if it doesn't. All right, go on, continue.
Yeah. So, is this character humanoid?
No.
Does it have two, does it walk upright at all?
Not this one, no.
This one does not. So, is it an android?
No.
Is this from a more modern um is this a more modern movie?
It's a modern movie, but it's set in a franchise that's been around for years. Remember
So
when
there's
I
been
said
several, yeah.
you are on the right lines with Alien. It's just not in the Alien franchise.
Yeah, that's why I'm like working on my brain here. Is it in the Predator franchise?
Yes.
Okay, Predator franchise. And feminine. So
And
that's the key
it's
there. That's what I'm starting to spin off on. So is this the neomorph?
is it the what?
The neomorph?
No.
It's not a neomorph, okay.
A neomorph isn't in
It's
Predator.
also on the you could argue Alien versus Predator. There's aliens in there. I just
Yeah, but
I
none
forgot
of
it was
them is
for a second.
neomorphs. Those are xenomorphs. Or
So
you do
is
have
it?
the Predator or the
I mean, there's
Predator
the
alien.
alien queen, but you wouldn't have checked to make sure it was feminine if that were the case. So it's not the alien queen.
No, it's not.
Um,
And it's not even in the AVP films.
okay, on the AV films. Is this the one with the character Adrian Brody?
No,
Predators?
no.
No. Okay.
I
Okay.
could say something, but I'll give it away.
You're right
This
because it's animated.
no, there is one thing I could say right now that would give it away. You want a hint?
Well, it's Predator Badlands, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no humans whatsoever.
Yeah. So I said android earlier.
Yeah, but the character isn't an android.
So the character is actually the creature that they were sent to kill, but is aka antagonist. But its name, I can't remember the name of the creature. I know
I'll
it's
just
the
give
little
you it.
guy.
It's the Calisk.
The Calisk. There we go. Kalisk.
I believe so. Yeah.
That's what I was like working through because I was like, is the flying thing female? I was like,
Yeah, I was gonna give you the hint that there was 0 humans. Because
yeah, because that's what I was
everything
thinking, like,
else
the
in the
android
movie,
piece.
everything else in the movie is an android.
Because it's the Death Planet. Nice. You ready for mine?
Sure. Femme or mask?
Masculine.
Obsession?
No.
Is this in the Evil Dead franchise?
No.
Is this in a franchise?
Yeah.
So there is multiple movies, more than at least 4.
That's why I'm checking.
4 and above.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a franchise. Is this supernatural, sci-fi, slasher?
I'd argue slasher and supernatural.
Slasher and supernatural. So
Correct.
it has slasher elements, but also supernatural elements.
Correct.
Friday the 13th.
No.
Not F13. Give me a hint.
Um.
For those listening in the audio,
Adolescents are terrorized.
adolescents are terrorized. Nightmare.
Hey, look at you.
How did you have to search up that this is in a franchise?
I have basically watched maybe one Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
As long as it's not the remake. I hate
I'm
you.
kidding. I've seen a few.
No, I was about to
have
fucking
seen
say...
scenes of several of them. It was actually Dream Warriors I've watched.
Oh, you've watched Dream Warriors?
No.
That is a weird movie. That is a weird place to fucking start.
So I've never been the biggest fan.
That's why you go back and watch the first two. Dream Warriors is not bad. Dream Master's fine. New Nightmare's good. I like New Nightmare. The remake can fuck off. So is this Freddy?
No.
Oh, so is this a character in Dream Warriors?
No.
So this isn't Dream Warriors at all.
No.
Is this Nightmare 1?
Yes.
Nightmare 1.
I like how you're just like, are you kidding me?
Is it Nancy's dad?
Nope.
Is it Johnny Depp's character?
It is, yeah.
I also what's his fucking name now?
You want me to give it to you, or do you think you know it?
I forgot his name.
Glenn Lance.
Yeah. Fucking. I find it funny how that's the movie where Johnny Depp got his start. Actually, I
agree.
Is that true? What was?
Because I always think of movies like Crybaby, where he plays the biker.
First movie. What was Johnny Depp's first movie? Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. 1984 was his first ever movie. And he ends up doing a cameo.
His eyes and lips are like the only recognizable things. Where you're like, that's Johnny Depp.
He's also in he's also in I'm pretty sure he's in the last one, Freddy's Dead. He does a cameo.
Oh, good.
Have you? We're getting season 3 of the Monsters show, by the way. Not season 3, season 4.
Yeah, and what is the? Who's that going to be covered?
It'll be covering the Lizzie Borden story.
Oh, Lizzie Borden. Okay, I think I heard something about it.
They're going really back in time with this one.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's a woman who killed her mother.
I think so. My cat's at my door now, being like, "Let me in, Father, please."
Right, next one. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, Mask or Femme?
Masculine.
Is this a franchise?
Yes.
Are you sure about this? Are you sure about it this time?
Oh, yeah, maybe I might be sure. I could probably give it a look.
Is this person... Actually, I'll ask again. Is this supernatural, sci-fi, slasher?
Supernatural and slasher.
Oh, you fucking asshole. Is this Nightmare again?
No.
Friday.
Yes.
God, yeah, but that gives me like how many movies? Is it Jason?
No.
Okay, now it's not Jason. That gives me like how many movies? Okay, Friday 1,
No.
Friday 2,
No.
3.
No.
Hang on, am I allowed to Google all the Friday movies?
Sure. I wouldn't ask
Friday
you not to, you
the
know?
13th. Choice. Just so I know. Just one. No, I don't want that. I just want a list of all the movies. Right. So it's not Friday 1. It's not part 2. Is it part 3?
No.
Is it the final chapter?
No.
Is it the new beginning?
No.
Jason Lives?
No.
The New Blood?
No.
Jason Takes Manhattan?
No.
The Final Friday?
No.
Jason X?
No.
Freddy vs. Jason?
No.
The remake?
The reboot, yes.
Motherfucker! Is it Trent?
No.
Is that his name, or is it Chad? Is it Trent or Chad? Is his character perhaps?
No, it's also not Chad.
Is his character perhaps played by Jared Padalecki?
Yes. I'm proud. You got the last name right, I think. You pronounced it correctly.
What's the character's name?
Yeah.
Forgot the character's name.
Would you like to know it?
Yes.
Is this the character you thought was Trent or Chad?
What?
And you fell back to saying Padalecki?
No, I know he doesn't play Trent. Trent's the asshole.
It's Clay Miller.
That's the one.
Yeah. Just when you think that I can't be a pain in the ass with these, I can whip out some stuff.
Made me read the entirety of the franchise out, and it turns out it's the one that's not even in the main fucking continuity.
That's what makes me so happy, because you could have. There's a 50-50 chance that you start with the one you know I've watched, which is the reboot.
All right, main topic. I actually want to know. Okay.
I want to do a little bit of the dirty banjos there.
What did you rate? Burn.
Easily like 8.5 out of 10.
8.5?
Yeah, I would say like 8.5. I'm notoriously really my issue is I always think there could be a better movie out there for movies, so I don't rate anything like a 10.
True.
Which
it's rare that I rate anything a 10. It is rare. Like the other day, I was in the hype of Spider-Man, so I rated it a 10 out of 10, and I did end up going with a 9 instead. I've rarely gone above it. It's got to be like absolutely flawless to be a 10, but obviously not everything can be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And Burn, I like it. It has some really great scenes and everything. The characters are what I find to be where it suffers a bit. And just in terms of, I do like movies where I have a bit more on characters versus, like me, I have a harder time with names. So if a character's not around enough for me to really catch their name properly, that to me, that's a point off, right? Because I want it to be good enough that I remember their names.
Yeah. I personally, I think Burn is definitely a 9. Personally, I think for me, it's on the same length as Rise.
Yeah, you could tell like they've done an amazing job
It's
so
on the
far with both.
same wavelength of Rise. It's definitely up there. It's on the same length. Like both of them are really fucking good. I
And what I think is
love.
interesting is they've changed. Have they changed the directors between them?
I'm not. I think so. It is. I'm pretty. I'm pretty sure Burn is directed by someone different.
It is, yeah, yeah. Interesting. It's an interesting option, especially in the world where Disney fumbled the the newest Star Wars trilogy so badly
Yeah.
because they just swapped between directors that didn't have the same vision, right? Um, to see this, man, how did Lucas? You got good job. Oh,
I
good
think
job, buddy. You got it in here.
Evil Dead. Uh, I think Evil Dead. It's weird because in Rise, it's different in the fact that Rise is all in one place. It's all in this apartment complex, and then you have
Yeah,
Burn, which obviously is all in a house, but also but ends somewhere else. Also, I've got to
yeah,
say, the fucking the fact that it shows how quickly the possessions can be. It
yeah,
it is really interesting of how quick the possessions are of the Deadites taking people over. It is so fucking quick, and it's interesting because obviously the girl from the girl at the end of Rise is the reason why this family's being tormented.
Jessica. Yeah,
And then I want to talk about it. So the grandfather of this family, the grandfather was one of the people a part of the priests.
Flamen.
Yeah, the cool. I can't fucking say that word.
You
Um,
almost said it like a Latin. I'm so proud of you.
yeah, the
The character men.
the group, that group of men who translated the book, they were able to. So he was a part of that group and basically made his own necrocom. I can't English today. Necronomicon. Jesus Christ. Because we've already seen all three books
Yeah.
now. Because we had the one in the OG films. Then we had, we actually saw all three, didn't we?
In Army of Darkness,
In
yeah.
Army of Darkness. Then we saw one of them in 2013, and then one in Rise. Which were, and that's all three books.
Yeah, so one for the Ash storyline is what I'd call that. One for the restart, not restart, but like continuation, right? And then one for the. Do they have is there a specific name for this trilogy?
I don't know because it goes Rise, Burn, Wrath. So Volume 1 of the Necronomicon is the Ex Mortis book. That one appears in Evil Dead 1981, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Bound in human flesh with a stylized screaming skeletal face on the cover. Origin effect discovered in Tennessee cabin by Professor Nobi. It unleashes Kandarian demons and deadites. Volume 2 is the Neturum de Monto, which appears in Evil Dead 2013. And Volume 3, the third volume, apparently it has actually no name. apparently the third volume actually doesn't have a name; it's unnamed, which
So they're trying to
appears
say
in
that's
Evil Dead Rise.
yeah. So I'm just gonna call it the uh. I want to almost say like amalgamation's a bit of a long title for it, but I would say because the Marauder is the 2013, right? Is that what they
Uh,
called it? The Marauder for like the whole raining blood and
I
all of
think
that.
that's what that demon's called. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna So I'm just gonna say like that reboot. I'm just gonna say it was like the Marauder event. There we go, the Marauder event. And then for the Evil Dead Rise, we can call it the Abomination event. Because I think it was amalgamation. The Mara, I think,
The
is maybe another term that they
Marauders
called it.
versus Limited, the Marauder, Mega Dead 2023 horror film. Oh no, the Marauder is the one from 2023. Is from the Marauder is Rise.
Oh, the Marauder's Rise. Okay.
Yeah.
Then is it the Abomination for 2013?
Evil Dead, the Abomination.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where I was getting it mixed up.
Yeah.
Abomination event and then the Marauder event. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of call them, and then the Ash storyline just for that. So one of the things is the Circle of Men is also known as the Circle of Wise Men.
Yeah.
Okay. Professor Nobi was a part of that circle.
Is that true, or are we just saying that?
I believe I've been looking up the piece for it. Because the original kind of name of it was a Circle of Wise Men. And I'm attempting to I mean to look up Benjamin Price.
Yes, Professor
Because Benjamin
Raymond Nobe was
Price,
connected.
Benjamin
to
Price
this.
is in fact the Byrne, right? It's the Burns because it's the Price family. I really didn't know the name of the family's last name because I just never really got like any notification necessarily of like this is their name.
Yeah, apparently, according to this, Professor Nobi was connected to the Circle of Wise Men, a secret group dedicated to studying the Necronomicon and fighting Kandarian demons. While the lore is expanded upon and tied into the wider franchise continuity in later films like Evil Dead Burn, Professor Nubby originally hails as the iconic archaeologist from the first two Evil Dead films, who first unearthly translated the cursed book. Evil Dead Burn brings Professor Nubby back to the... Oh, what's this? Evil Dead Burn franchise is always the Evil Dead franchise has always had mythology problems. Its sequels don't quite agree on the rules. The original film Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness each treat the lore slightly differently, and the modern entries Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise operate as parallel stories more than true continuations. Evil Dead Burn may be the film that finally threads all of it together in a conversation with Out magazine. Star Hunter Dohan revealed that his character in the film connects directly to the central figure of Sam Raimi's original trilogy, and that the connection is not cosmetic. Dohan plays Joseph, a character he describes as researching the lore in the story. The key detail, Joseph working on a book about his grandfather's research. His grandfather knew Professor Nobe. Professor Raymond Nobe is the figure at the center of the original Evil Dead mythology, the archaeologist who found the Necronomicon Ex Mortis in the ruins of Castle Kandar, recorded his findings on a tape, recorded and brought the book to the cabin in the woods where Ash Williams and his friends would eventually suffer for it. The tape recorder in the original film is Nobi's voice. His research is the reason everything in the trilogy happens. What the Nobi connection actually means, Professor Nobi appears in Evil Dead 2 as a character in addition to just a voice, and the mythology around him, the Necronomicon, Castle Kandar, the Kandarian Deadite curse, is the franchise's deepest lore layer. Bringing Nobi's lineage into Evil Dead Burn is not a cameo reference, it is a structural decision about how the franchise history connects. If Joseph's father knew Nobi and Joseph is now researching the lore, then Evil Dead Burn is building a story that ties the academic tradition of the original trilogy directly to the new threat the film presents. Dohan confirms the scope of the connection in his Out magazine chat. I loved how this script not only ties back a little bit to Evil Dead Rise, but this movie connects the lore through the whole franchise, which I found really exciting. The Deadites in Evil Dead Rise were summoned through a vinyl record found in a basement. Evil Dead Burn inherits that connection and reaches further back to the tape recorder in the original cabin, to the book, and to the man who first touched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
Evil
so
Dead
they
Burn
are
connects
part of the
everything
circle
together.
of men, wise men, which means that likely each of them, it's likely then that the recordings in Evil Dead Rise involve, possibly Price, if not his contemporaries, right? Um, so that's like the big connection for it, really, is that they either knew each other or, because there might have just been some colleagues that are like distant colleagues, or they work closely together with it, right? Um, and I was trying to find again, so the father who owned the cabin in Evil Dead 2013. I don't really have. Is there no name for him
The father.
in 2013? So they got to the cabin, right? And in the cabin, they found the book and everything, similar to like the old Evil Dead.
2013.
And it was the whole thing of that his daughter was the one possessed, right? And then they buried her
In the
alive.
2013 Evil Dead film, the remote cabin belongs to the Allen family, the family of main characters David and Mia Allen, serving as their old holiday home. David
The
and
father's
Mia's
name in the opening
family
scene in
used
2013
it.
is Harold.
What?
So do you remember the opening thing with the Evil Dead 2013 where it's like that? It shows that other girl like possessed and all that stuff that they went through.
Yeah.
That's who I was asking about. Was that not so much me and because apparently he was just known as Harold. He doesn't have a last name,
The
so
guy
we
in
don't
the
actually
beginning.
have. Yeah,
That beginning of that movie is weird because like, does it connect to the overall story of the actual movie?
that was the problem. Well, so they're the reason for the book to be buried there, like to be there at the cabin, because his daughter was possessed.
The thing, yeah. So
So
the
it's kind of like
cabin.
it parallels Evil Dead the original because that similar idea, right? Um of the possession and everything, and then burying the book because it was a mistake. Um,
Yeah, the cabin is owned by Mia and David's family. It doesn't say, like, it just says it's a holiday. It's a holiday home that they used.
yeah, so that's like the issue because then it's like, does that mean that their families connected? Like, 2013, in my opinion, has the hardest connection to make of whether the Circle of Wise Men also had that, like, if they're the reason why that book got in that place. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was trying to determine is where it's why it's there.
The Circle of the Wise Men is not directly involved or mentioned in the 2013 Evil Dead film. That secret society and law regarding the creation of the Kandarian dagger were introduced into the franchise's expanded universe later. Easter eggs only. The 2013 Cabin in the Woods massacre only connects to later expanded lore, such as in franchise expansions like Evil Dead Burn, via background newspaper clippings and journal sketches referencing the events. I didn't pick up on that actually. At
Repeat
first.
that.
It says I think in the book in Evil Dead Burn,
Yeah.
there are references to 2013. Apparently, there is like newspaper sketches and stuff.
Interesting.
Apparently, the Circle of Wise Men is new to the franchise.
Well, Nobi sounds like he, was a member.
Well, no,
If
but I
not one of
mean,
the
in the original, in
Yeah.
2013, the group is never mentioned. Nobi is actually never mentioned being part of any group. So I do think the
Yeah.
Circle of Wise Men is basically just a brand new plot point for the films to connect everything.
Which would make sense, I guess, if they're trying to do
Basically,
that. So then,
it's a secret group who were told by the church that they weren't allowed to basically read the book because it's dangerous. They were told they weren't allowed to read it or describe it, so they made a group and ended up making the tapes basically.
yeah, which is one of the silliest things for them to do,
But I don't mind.
Um,
It does make sense if you're going to connect franchises together. I think it does make sense to at least uh, create a group that's the reason this all started.
yeah, and then yeah, because it would seem like, especially with that dagger looking so old,
The
like that
dagger,
dagger kind of
the
piece,
thing
the
is,
makeshift piece.
I was confused why the dagger looked the way it did because
Well, because like
that
I said,
looked
I think it's
nothing
like a
like
piece
the
of it or
Kandarian
something.
dagger. Evil Dead Burn. Is it a piece of the dagger? No, the small rustic wooden handle item in Evil Dead Burn isn't specifically confirmed as a literal broken fragment or piece of the original iconic Kandarian dagger, though fans debate whether it's a makeshift replica. A functional variant from a different copy of the Necronomicon or a failed imitation. Grandfather Price collected multiple suspected occult artifacts and forged or replica blades during his research with the Circle of the Wise Men, leaving it ambiguous whether it was a lesser ritual tool or just a localized variant. I was about to
Then
say,
he hid and sealed it. You know what I mean? Like he intentionally sealed and warded it so the Deadites couldn't sense it.
because it was just
As if
like a piece of metal wrapped around a piece of wood. The original
yeah, with
Kandarian
Kandor in the
dagger
hilt.
looks like bone. Like the original Kandarian dagger, where is it?
I mean, to be fair, I think the new one is just, it could be bone.
Have you seen an image of what the Kandarian dagger looks like?
Yeah, but I mean, I've watched the.
It looks like a big giant piece of bone.
I would argue that the Evil Dead, like I would argue this could easily be a shard of bone.
The only thing I can think about it
Because, well, think
is
about it. If it's a dagger made out of bone that's carved bone could splinter off.
it just looks too metal. It doesn't look like bone.
Does it? It
The
doesn't look
one from
sharp enough
Burn.
to be metal. Let's
The one
see.
from Burn doesn't look like it looks rustic. It just doesn't resemble bone. The only thing I can think is this is actually just a replica. And it's a imitation. It's not the
Maybe it's the idea that you can inscribe a special incantation.
because
That,
when she look when the character when the survivor does, I forgot her name now,
Alice.
Alice. When she looks at it, there is an inscribing on it on the piece of wood. What actually happened to the original dagger?
Well, remember, it ends up in the evil. It ends up in the Ashes of the Evil Dead franchise. Like it, well, not franchise, but I mean TV show. So it
The
ended
original
up.
Kandari dagger, first found by Professor Nobi, was either lost, misplaced, or subjected to behind the scene. I want to know what in universe. In the original time, when the classic bone-hilted Kandarian dagger discovered by Professor Nubby remains an unencountered for relic. After changing hands multiple times against various demonic forces, surviving through the events of the original trilogy and subsequent television continuity. I'm going to guess that the dagger in Burn is just an imitation.
Well, I mean, so look at the pictures I sent you. And so look at the bottom one, not the bottom one with the from Evil Dead, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Look at the one right above that, and look at how the blade looks. And this is a prop, like it's the prop kind of thing from the TV show. And I mean, if you look at that, and then you start looking at the Burn, I mean, I would think it'd be feasible. It could be a piece that came off of this because, like, you see how it's almost like the vertebrae.
Wait,
That's
so
part of
the
like the
one
thing.
the one that looks like metal is from the show.
The one that looks like metal. So the first one is Burn. Second one is from, I actually believe, Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, whichever one.
Right.
So it's the oldest kind of version, right? And then the one below it is from the show. So the most recent kind of up to date lore on what it looks like with it being carved bone. And then the bottom one with who I forget her name, that is her wielding that dagger.
So
But the fact that it has
could be a
Kandar in its
show.
name, yeah, but the fact that it has Kandar inscribed in its handle, maybe there's some type of inscription like magic put over the thing that also lets it do stuff.
Maybe, but anyway, the fucking thing's gone anyway. It's in fucking concrete.
It's in that, yeah, in the tar and everything, which also means that, technically, that actually, yeah, I didn't think about that. In other words, it's unreachable, and if the Deadites were aware enough
Like
at as that was
the
going
Deadites'
on.
whole thing in that movie was they wanted the dagger.
Yep, because if they get rid of the dagger, nothing can stop them, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so that was the idea, is they need to control it. Well, technically, they still got what they wanted. It is out of the reach of anybody who wants to stop them. AKA, that's are still free reign, right? Because
The interesting thing is Bruce Campbell isn't. If they want to, Bruce Campbell. The thing is, I feel like Ash's story isn't, over.
Well, the issue is while this is all going on, he's in his coma until the end sequence of Ash vs. Evil Dead, where he wakes up in the futuristic.
I am pretty sure. Isn't there plans for an animated continuation?
We talked about that. I haven't really heard anything for it. So unless Ash does a timey-wimey thing, which, to be fair, I looked up more on Evil Dead Wrath, and it sounds like it's supposed to be set entirely in 72, meaning there would not be any timey-wimey portal things to go back, which means it is purely a prequel.
It makes
zero sense.
Why would you do a prequel?
And that's like the kind of issue. So should we talk about the ending of the movie before we jump into this, or into speculation?
Yeah. So basically, the end of Evil Dead Burn, obviously spoilers. The ending of Evil Dead Burn ends with us back in this sanitarium, where this woman keeps unclaimed ashes of people. Her daughter, is it her daughter or is it her granddaughter?
It is her daughter.
Her daughter.
It's her. Yeah, I'd be daughter.
Her daughter's there with her. She goes leave. The owner of the place leaves to go do something. The daughter ends up reading out names. One of the names that she reads is the mother from Rise. And what happens is, when she looks in the mirror, the mother from Rise is in the mirror. And she ends up behind the little girl. And she goes, "Mother is back." And somehow now she's alive.
Yeah, and this is a concept they reused from the Evil Ash. Like, remember when they came out, came out of the reflection, it was a manifestation. So it shows that because from what I understand, the Kandarian demon is kind of like the boss of all these Deadites, all these spirits.
Yeah, the Kandarian demon is separate from Deadites. Deadites are basically soldiers, where the actual demon is more of like their boss.
Yeah, and so he sends them out to go do their things. And Evil Ash was meant to, that time kind of thing was meant to be his general that, brings him about and takes over the world. So I think in this case, the Marauder can be considered, which is you consider Ellie. Ellie and them were forming what was the Marauder, right? So that's the thing I was trying to figure out because the Deadite, the idea behind Deadites is kind of awkward because it's never explicit whether these are Deadites that kind of come back each time. It's like a set like personalities, or if it's just the corrupt spirit. So the idea is that the Deadites they have the memories and everything of the person that they possessed. So they use that to torment the people around them. So it doesn't mean that they're them.
I
It
will
means
say
that they
this, though.
basically
They'll
are
look,
like a copy.
They'll look at Alice's boyfriend, in like his possessed form, like he's all burnt. That thing was fucking terrifying looking.
Yeah,
That thing
Will
was
Price.
sick looking. Like
Yeah, Will Price,
that
the
was
burnt
so
Deadite.
fucking cool looking. By the way, that was sick.
It was amazing.
That was amazing looking, and I think that is the Deadite. That I don't. Do you think that's a Deadite, or do you think that that is the actual Kandarian demon that he is?
So no, that's still a Deadite because the idea is storyline of events. So we'll start with Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rise. The earthquake causes the book, the recording stuff, and everything that fun stuff to be revealed. They read from the book. Ellie Bixler was going to the elevator. The spirit that was summoned from the recording possessed the elevator to attack and essentially weaken Ellie, so Ellie could also be possessed. Ellie goes back into the family house to basically, torment, and that leads into, the fun, the fun dynamics that led to them multiple Deadites merging into one singular creature known as the Marauder, also known as the Amalgamation, which was then put through the wood chipper, right? And so, which is a complete dismemberment of all his bodies, which, according to like your typical rules, means hey, like those Deadites are donezo, right? But then after that, Jessica comes down after the starting Bixlers escape and leave, just leave, and she gets possessed by an evil spirit that just basically just overwhelms her, right? Or not necessarily overwhelms her, but hangs on to her and then breaks her down, and possesses her, even maybe gradually by the time she gets to the cabin with her friends, right? And then she kills her friends and hangs out of the lake. So the thing that I haven't been able to wrap my head around is the Marauder a specific singular entity, or is it just a form that a group of them can take because they can? That's kind of the weird thing, right? Because each Deadite grabs the memories and stuff of each host they make, or they take over, right?
With the ending of Burn being the mother is back, and she ends up in a room full of ashes of people, it is fair to say that maybe it's a war, that she's going to wake up a bunch of dead people as possessed.
Well, Second Army of Darkness.
Yeah. But Wrath going back and being a prequel kind of... Because we have no idea what's happening after Wrath. We don't know what's happening with the franchise after Wrath. Because far as we know, we only have a trilogy that we know of. See, it's good.
Yeah.
For a while now, we have known we will get in Rise, Burn, Wrath.
I actually have an idea. I'm just checking to see. I'm just trying to type.
He's Googling. For those on audio, he is doing the Google.
Doing the Google. Because I'm checking the time, the placement of Evil Dead Burn and the placement of the fight against the Kandarian Demon in the Evil Dead show. So in the overall Evil Dead timeline, Evil Dead Burn takes place approximately 8 years after Ash's present-day battle against the Kandarian Demon. In other words, this event could be considered, possibly, this is the apocalypse event that leads to Ash being woken back up eventually because the world's overrun. So them technically taking it back to 1972 could be them showing how things got to where they are, and could be leading into either an animated series or some follow-up that would take place after. But that being so, that would be the idea of that would track technically, because the world has to
So
quote
going with
unquote
that
end.
logic, when Wrath comes out, it's going back in time to show us how this whole thing started. How
That takes place like 8 years before the very first movie,
so
before
yeah,
Evil Dead 1, before Ash
so
stumbles.
basically that movie will probably either be about Professor Nobi or maybe about the Circle of Wise Men.
Maybe even
Probably.
showing his connection.
Yeah, maybe showing like the backstory and then leading to the original movie. And then maybe the animated series that we're getting will be a continuation. Basically, right the ending of Burn, meaning that that leads to the apocalyptic event of demons being rampant, world ending, Ash wakes up in the future, and instead of getting a live action continuation, we get an animated one.
Yeah, and then really, if you think about the concept, is the Circle of Wise Men, depending on like how they were and stuff like that. Well, because they were present much later, because those recordings were kind of old too. But the idea being that with Ash's storyline, technically could have easily been taking place alongside like Evil Dead, rises obviously after this whole event. So yeah, it makes sense that this could actually be the reason why there's nothing else coming after this, is because the Deadites win the only known Kandarian dagger, because this is after that fight. We don't know what happened to the Kandarian dagger after that. We don't know what happened to the true Kandarian dagger.
So yeah, Campbell basically retired from any, live action performances. But he does want to. He is okay doing voice work. So him and Sam Raimi are working on this continuation together, and they will be doing it, but there is no release date. So hang on, will
Yeah, so
Evil Dead Burn ending mean that's how the world.
yeah, because basically we don't know when the Kandari Demon Shard was collected and put away, but we also actually don't know what happened to. We don't know what happened to the dagger afterwards, because the Knights of Samaria, are who put Ash away. So I guess another thing to be curious about is the Knights of Samaria, compared to the Circle of Wise Men, right? Like the idea of that, because Knights of Samaria, that was formed because of Army Darkness, right?
I don't know.
Or were they just considered like the follow-ups of like the original group that
Wait, say that
took on
again.
the Kandarian way back when?
Say that again.
The Knights of Samaria.
What about them?
Yeah.
Wait, what about them?
Yeah, so the Knights of Samaria, like, what are they in relation to the Circle of Wise Men, right? Are they, because the Knights of Samaria were clearly still around when Ash fought the Kandarian demon. They're who bring him back for the apocalypse. So then I'm curious to know what their relation might be.
I don't think there probably is one. The Circle of Wise Men
There's two random things.
The Circle of Wise Men were a group of people who wanted to translate the Book of the Dead. Whereas the Circle of Wise Men, whereas the other group, I think, are mainly just people trying to stop the demons. I think they're just two separate groups.
So Circle of Wise Men are more like, they're the scholars who are curious.
Whereas the other group are warriors.
Which it makes sense then, because the idea is that the Circle of Wise Men are the ones who are like, we read in things, and they are causing the problem that the Knights of Samaria keep trying to put down.
Well,
And so I would assume that the Knights of
kind of
Samaria
blame Ash a
probably.
little there.
Well, to be fair, he stumbled on the mess of.
Not that. I mean, in Ash vs. Evil Dead, the show, he got drunk, read the book.
Yeah, but that's the his last outbreak he fought, right? He dealt with, right?
He still did
But
it.
he did, but if you notice, the Circle of Wise Men were also summoning their own stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't just Ash; they were more dumbasses, basically.
His entire world is just full of dumbasses.
Yeah, so probably they have the original Kandarian dagger.
Yeah.
Or it was lost sometime in the fighting, because if it was lost, then that would make sense why the Deadites would be like, only this thing, the Circle of Men, has something that could stop us, right? Because then, El Jefe himself isn't around because, he got put away in that stasis and kind of hidden away. So the Deadites, the Kandarian may all be like, that's a good question then. Is the Kandarian...
We're in a full-on conspiracy mode here.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Ash straight up hit the Kandarian demon with the dagger, but it's called the Kandarian dagger, which means it probably was just,
Well, no, the Kandarian demon is only called that because it's originated
Kandar the Destroyer, right?
Well, the castle is Castle Kandar in Evil Dead Army of Darkness. That's the castle's name. I think the reason why the demon's called that is because that's where it came, where it was summoned.
Gotcha.
I believe
so.
Anyway.
Yeah, because the demon, every time reference I've seen is Kandar the Destroyer, which is its title.
Demons called Kandarian. In Evil Dead franchise, Kandarian demon gets its name from Kandar, an ancient and mythological civilization or city tied to the origins of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis and the ritualistic dagger used to combat or summon these evil forces. The city of Kandar, lore within the expanding universe and tie-in media points to Kandar as an ancient primeval region or city in Mesopotamia. Alright, where the entity first manifested or where priests first interacted with it. So yeah, it was, they're named after it because they originated in a city of Kandar.
Because Samaria and but then here's my issue. Is so Kandar is the Mesopotamian kind of thing, right? And also the Sumerians, but then Army of Darkness, it takes place in England where they have a castle named Kandar.
Why is the castle named?
Okay. It's because of either the prophecy, like it's named that because that's where the stuff was kept, possibly by Knights of Samaria, right?
Yes, it's named
in England.
From the region or ancient demonic forces of Kandar, region of the universe connected to the Kandarian demon and Kandarian dagger. It serves as the 14th century English stronghold ruled by Lord Arthur in Army of Darkness. Kandarian association. The name links back to the primordial evil forces such as the Kandarian demon or Kandar the Destroyer, tied to the land or historical region where the stronghold was built or named. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say quite literally then, so that makes sense then. I was just like, bad, because obviously we're grasping at some straws here. So the Kandarian demon cannot be destroyed because you'd have to basically physically go into their realm somehow and, get rid of them, much like demons typically are, right? So the Deadites being the soldiers and everything, and the Deadites obviously have a variety of ways to possess people. If you're a dead body or an inanimate object or like a plant, they can possess it with no problems. A person they can possess with problems. A traumatized person or injured person, someone who's mentally been weakened, especially by trauma or grief, they're easier to possess. It's been proven that people can repel the possession when enough of a strong, like, emotional thing is brought about. Hence, Ash being able to do it, right? And in Evil Dead Burn, Susan, right? Susan was the mother of Joseph and the daughter of Polly, right? Polly was the old lady. When Susan kind of kicked it for a minute because Joseph was being hurt, and she was like, "You lied to me. You said we'd all be together, right?" When Edgar Deadeye is, going ham on him to trying to find the dagger. So she breaks free for a little bit, but then she succumbs. Why? Because upstairs it's the idea of her family being attacked, kind of like it was it for her, right? So it's that bodily fluids also allows it. That's like a way it can be passed along, being susceptible to possession. And I still haven't fully figured out. Like, I don't know the mechanics necessarily, because it's not like it's not one Deadite going across multiple people. It is multiple Deadites all controlling different people. And they don't all know what everybody knows, but the Kandarian demon gets that information back. I'm aware, like, as far as I'm aware, like, Kandarian demon knows what they're all experiencing, but each of them are their own separate things based on the mistakes that they all make, right? Because let's face it, depending on the stuff in the house could easily have been solved if Max would just bust in through a door if they let Max inside, right, to help handle the survivors. So the possession, anybody can be possessed in that sense. It's just simply put the time and length. So in the funeral parlor, that's a unique opportunity, because now Ellie is possibly a completely physical manifestation now around her remains, to where she can kick and do things. The Deadite child will help take over the funeral director, and then all of those bodies of the people that are supposed to cremate could just not be cremated, could be raised up. And then each family that shows up, suffering from guilt and the trauma and all that stuff, are now perfect targets to be tortured, and messed with using their own dead family member that the Deadites now control, which, if they were smart, right? If Ellie and them were smart, they could just repeat that process across funeral homes, right? And you'll get everyone eventually. You'll start causing this problem. So that's like the big thing. And them going back in time prevents them from having to deal with the 2013, survivors. That makes they have to deal with the surviving Bixlers. They also technically don't have to go follow up on the fact that Ellie's back. They could just literally be like, hey, which sucks, because she's a great character, right? That Deadite is a particularly special one in that sense. But when they say the NT is a Marauder, like, I'm still, the Evil Dead Rise Marauder thing, and then the Abomination all having their own special rules and things is weird to me, because if all these Deadites are just soldiers of the Kandarian demon, are they then just special soldiers of the demon?
I would say they're just higher up.
Like higher echelon kind of thing?
Yeah, like a hierarchy.
Yeah, I mean, technically, the 2013 Evil Dead could even have been a quote-unquote mistake, but instead of trying to retract their mistakes, they just kind of are glossing it over into everything, right? That may have been what happened, where they're like, ooh, we don't want to retcon it, but we're just going to kind of fold it in, but that means we also don't want to reference it, really, because of it. So... yeah, Wrath being prequel isn't the worst thing, but then you're taking a established trilogy of, Alice, starting her thing, Ellie, Bixler, the Deadite, the surviving Bixler children, was it the sister and then the son who made it?
In what?
Right?
In the second, in Rise.
In Rise, yeah.
No,
was
it was the sister and daughter.
Sister and daughter, okay. And so the idea is, like, you've built these characters we know, we followed, and now we see Ellie Bixler, and so it's like, oh no, are they in trouble? And you have Alice. Like, it would make sense that maybe they would come together, but Alice straight up left the dagger in the tar asphalt pit, right? So what is she gonna do necessarily? She just honestly seems like she just try and go back to France if she got out of detainment, So it's just there's stuff here, but now they're abandoning it or postponing it to go back to before it all began, where, I don't know, you have Benjamin Price, you have Professor Nobi, you have we don't know anybody else in that time frame. Unless some reason Ruby showed up, right? Like we don't have any other
As I can think
characters.
of, if we get news about this animated show, and it turns out that this entire time these films have been basically been like a run up for the show, I won't be angry about that because it would make sense. It makes sense for them to show us, to basically give us this story. But
Yeah, I mean, it does say it is currently in active development.
yeah, so I feel like these films we're getting are just to, while that show's being made, we're getting these films to basically show,
Show the end.
is to basically give us a reason why. Because obviously, we don't know how the world ended, so I wonder if it's going to be a thing of, in Wrath, I wonder if it'll end where you get a time skip and it shows like footage, little bits of footage of how the world ended.
Yeah, so they did say approximately it was behind the scenes because it never directly says it. Um so oh, you know what? That's actually clever. So obviously Googling it could be, fake or false, right? I
Yeah.
haven't check, so check it. So the behind the scenes estimate was about 50 years in stasis. So that would be the 2060s or 2070s Ash wakes up.
Right.
Okay. Then that's an homage to the Army of Darkness ending, where the ending, so the original Army of Darkness ending. The ending was a direct tribute to Raimi's original unreleased theatrical ending, where he took too many drops of the wise men's sleeping potion and slept for 100 years, waking up in a ruined post-apocalyptic London. So that was kind of an homage to that. And then there's another use of wise men's,
Right.
which is curious. It's just curious to me that, it's like, the Wisemans could have literally been around all this time. It's just over time, like they do their own stuff. Um, but obviously that wasn't released, so we can't really take that one into account because obviously he went back to, the future or back to his time, right? And then so that 50 years kind of period is so Burn takes place in, is it straight 2026 is the actual happening of the events.
Yeah, the new movies take place in the year they release, I believe.
Yeah, because it takes place in its release, and that means
Actually, that makes wait. Does the events of actually no, it can't be the year they release because Burn takes place right after Rise, doesn't it?
a few days, yeah, and then oh yeah, so that's curious
So they have to be in the
because
same year.
yeah, so I'm actually curious about that then. Yeah, because here we go. Yeah, because even though Wikipedia is obviously trying to say Evil Dead Burn takes place in 2026. Oh no 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 no! Actually, Jessica has been in that pond for we don't know how long.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
she didn't really stir about again. She may have been killing people for a while, maybe, but she didn't really stir again until they felt the dagger nearby, right? The when it was released, and so then she got dispatched to go deal with it. So technically, it doesn't have to be right after. It's just she was the deadite that got a hold of Will. Um, so it happening in 2026 while 20 what 3 was Evil Dead Rise actually works. It's just why did the urn get there so late for Ellie's to that funeral parlor because no one ever collected it, right? And then the other person, if I remember correctly, when I looked it up, is Christopher something, right? Christopher. Do you remember the other name?
So
The other urn.
there was multiple names. One of them,
There were two.
I
There were
did
two names. It was
search.
Ellie Bixler and Christopher Leroy.
Yeah, I searched it up. That name actually has nothing to do with the series.
Well, that could also be them establishing another thing, right? Right, like leaving a breadcrumb or something.
Because I did Google it, that name doesn't appear in any other movie. So if that girl has read that name, I do think then that person will be relevant later.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, a breadcrumb.
I want to see Mia again.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. Yeah, that'd be interesting because she, also survived. But yeah, it's an unclaimed
Yeah,
urn,
she'd have
and
a prosthetic arm like Ash.
yeah. Oh, and so it could just be a Easter egg because, yeah, behind the scenes, Vanacek, if that's how you pronounce his name, confirmed that it was an homage to his own feature film. He was a co-writer, Florent Bernard. It's a French comedy, Meet the Leroys, which was written and directed by one of the co-writers. So it
Okay.
seems an insider gag. That's I'm not a big fan of that necessarily. That's like the worst time to put an Easter egg in.
Doesn't bother me. But yeah, we can sit here and conspiracy size all we want. I just think I can't wait for when Wrath comes out and to see what happens.
But also, why is it called Wrath?
Titles.
Well, because burn, right? They do like mention the burning and like the burning of the house, all that stuff, like burning it all down. Rise is like quite literally, and it's a trilogy, right? So Rise, Burn, Wrath. So then the rising of the Deadite menace again, and then your Wrath. But if it's a prequel, how's there Wrath? Unless it's the Wrath is what leads to all of this, the Wrath of the Kindar.
It'll be the Wrath because obviously it'll probably be revenge because the battle in Kandar, the battle at Castle Kandar, it'd be revenge from that because the demon hasn't been risen since that event.
Yeah. Well,
So
to also make mention
between the events in Castle Kandar and to Evil Dead, like to Ash's time, was centuries.
Yeah, and I mean to point out too, 1923 was roughly when the notes for the circle was interred in the bank. That was revealed in Evil Dead Rise. So that was like 100 years before. So it was like 1923, but then you had 1972, which is the next closest event that we have a collection of. Then what 1980s for Ash's stuff until modern day, and modern day becomes Evil Dead as well as Ash versus the Evil Dead. And then you get Evil Dead Rise in 2023. I'm making like my own like little so I'll say like around 2013 for the Evil Dead as well as Actress Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rise is 2023. Evil Dead Burn is 2026. And then 1972 would be Evil Dead Wrath. And then 1980 is the OG Evil Dead. And then what year was it? The 14th century? 14th century, I think, was Army Darkness.
I believe so.
So yeah, so you have the 14th. So there's a lot there. Maybe Wrath involves also the follow-up of the 1923 piece. I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, so I think. Do you agree with me then that this is really a setup for showing how the world ends?
I think so. I think it is a setup for us to get this animated show where we'll get to see Ash in the future and he'll be fighting against the Deadites and the Kandarian demon once and for all.
So it's really just the dark ones, overall, because really the dark ones are the issue. The Kandarian demons, just their best instrument.
Yeah. But overall, I think it is probably a setup to show how the world will end. But we don't know until we find out, because filmmakers don't like to feed us information sometimes.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the swapping directors from each one. I mean, they're doing great. It's just, are they doing it just because they all have the vested interest, or like, you know what I mean? Like, do they all agree on where it's supposed to go?
I have a feeling because we knew what the films were going to be called, each director has talked to the others.
Do you think that because Campbell and Sam Raimi are producers, that maybe they're the ones with the actual vision and the big board concept, and they went to the directors I think would be best to shoot it with a screenplay that they had, or like, the writers do?
We don't know. But yeah, that's all I've got. We hope everybody did enjoy today's episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe on the YouTube side of things. Let us know what you think about what the meaning of the end of Evil Dead Burn is and other stuff like that. Let us know down below. Don't forget to like us on all your audio platforms as well. Don't forget this podcast is brought to you by the Slasher Cast Podcast Network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. And we hope you did enjoy. Remember, keep on slashing, keep watching horror. I've been one of your Slasher.
And I'm your other host, Mori.
And we'll see you guys later. For now.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.